Have always craved being single, but in 8-year relationship with amazing girl. Hello everyone. I've seen posts like this on here before, and they seem to either be met with hate or wise understanding. I am 26M and my partner is 26F. She is my first and only girlfriend and I'm her first and only boyfriend. We've been together since we were 18. She grew up strict Muslim and I grew up strict Mormon. I went through a terrible depression when I was a teenager and nearly lost my life to SDE. I never got a normal or healthy high school experience of social exploration, and the few girls that I kissed or had things with always got scared away by my obvious desperation and pain. This was always hard, because I am a handsome person, but I was never able to use it for any real connection. Finally, at age 16, after the depression got really bad, I got sent to residential treatment for 14 months, confined and alone in a high-security boys' home. Although the place was excruciatingly difficult to be in, I healed a lot through therapy and journaling, and by the time I got back to the real world as an 18-year-old, I had confidence, hope, and tenacity for the first time in my life. 6 months after I returned, I met my girlfriend. I was back for a final year of high school after treatment and felt entirely alienated from the rest of my classmates because of my experiences. I looked around me and saw for the first time how emotionally immature most people were, and that my painful childhood had actually led me to a deeper emotional maturity. In the wake of all I had survived, I met my partner working at a pizza shop. We were co-workers. She was 18 and in college, only about 5 months older than me. From the second I met her, she seemed so different than everyone else. There was none of the ignorance I saw in so many privileged white girls and guys, but a deep and genuine acceptance of life. We started making out, and I felt really conflicted about wanting to date or not. I felt like I needed more time to process everything that had happened, more time to develop a healthy sense of self. I was still struggling with depression, but with much healthier coping mechanisms. But after 3 dates with her, I felt suddenly like I had known her my entire life. There was something about her that felt like cosmic significance. I was no longer Mormon at that point, but during treatment I had several intense spiritual experiences that felt like the universe was reaching out to me and letting me know I wasn't alone. I began to feel that with her, that we were meant to meet. I told her I was ready to be official, and it's been almost 8 years now with no breaks. I am an avid journaler, having journaled almost every day since 2015 when I went to treatment. I can look back in my journal and see the moment I met my girlfriend. Everything changed. My words suddenly lose a weight to them. Suddenly I'm making jokes, having adventures, and acting like a kid again for the first time in 7 years of depression. She changed my life. I brought her all of me, all the pain and darkness and despair. Having felt alone my entire life, and she accepted me fully. It is the single greatest act of love I have ever experienced, and it changed my life. This has not changed for the 8 years we've stayed together. She has always been in my corner, supporting me in a way that has allowed me to grow in ways I never could have imagined. I've traveled to 10 countries with her, road tripped across the US, backpacked South America for 9 months, skydived, got scuba certified, sold my art and poetry, and graduated with a degree in psychology, all with her by my side. It's been a good life, and I know we would die for each other. Most people wonder why we haven't gotten married. I see her as the future mother of my kids and my not-too-distant future wife. The only thing stopping me is my crippling trauma-based fear of losing my freedom. When I was a child, my parents thought I had special needs due to behavior outbursts and sent me every day for 9 months to a special needs school where I was treated very poorly, not abused physically, but emotionally. A child psychologist noticed that after I returned from the school at age 5, I wasn't the same. I had developed an extremely anxious attachment style to my mom, terrified of leaving her, terrified of being left alone. Something in that school traumatized me and led to an immense fear of abandonment. My life went okay as a kid until I became a real teenager, and that early trauma became a furious depression that isolated me and drew me to hate myself. I've learned a lot about attachment styles, the effect of trauma, major and minor, on the brain, epigenetics, generational transmission, executive dysfunction, etc. I'm pretty aware of the forces that have shaped my personality and behavior. It is through this awareness and a shit ton of hard work that I was able to heal from the past and live what I consider to be an incredible life. I've used my experiences with mental illness to create meaningful things and support many people with their own challenges. During my peak, I felt like a genuine healer. Like my life was a movie and I was the luckiest man in the world to have gone through what I did and to have found such truth in the darkness. But the thing is, there's still darkness in me. Once I graduated college and went backpacking South America with my girlfriend, a lot of things began to re-emerge from the past. All throughout college, as I healed, I began to feel a terrible paradox in my life. For the first time ever, I was healthy and happy. I was handsome and in good shape from the gym. I was in my early 20s and horny as hell. For the first time ever, really attractive girls started giving me serious attention. My girlfriend and I did long distance the entire time I was in college. She lived 4 hours away, and we visited often, but to my benefit I got the chance to be fully independent and still have someone to love me. However, during college it became very difficult to not fantasize about being single and exploring my youth now that I was finally doing okay. In a way, I realized I could have the high school experience I always wanted but never could have. I felt it there, gnawing at me. All the potential of self-exploration. Despite all I have done, I still feel that feeling. My girlfriend and I were virgins when we met, and we lost our virginity together. I have never cheated on her, and we have stayed loyal to each other. Despite it all, I still feel incredibly lost sometimes. There's still a part of me that is very much unhealed and craving validation. I'm going to go to therapy again and try EMDR for it in a month, because after 8 years I still find myself fantasizing about being single. There is nothing malignant about these feelings. I love my girlfriend. I believe they are based on the interaction of two strong forces. #1. Anxious attachment, which drives need for societal validation and sexual gratification. Studies have shown anxiously attached people to be prone to hypersexuality and addiction. And #2. Being young and full of testosterone. I don't want to be this way, but there is a part of me that is. After all the healing I've done, I return to the attachment/relationship pain again and again and again. A voice in my head says maybe I never got to fully develop a healthy individuality since I met my girlfriend right as I returned from treatment and have literally grown up with only her. Another voice says all this pain would go away if I just used my skills, and that the universe threw me a bone. A shortcut to a happy life with someone that understands after no one else ever did, and that losing a pure soul like her would be supremely painful and ignorant. I am faced with a painful choice. Lose the chance of ever knowing myself outside the relationship and being truly independent for the first time in my life, or sacrificing a lifelong relationship with the best person I've ever met and most likely the love of my life. Any advice? TLDR. I've been with the same girl my whole youth from 18 to 26. Now that I'm heading towards 30, I feel like time is running out and crave the single, high school/college experience I never had due to depression and circumstance. Is being single and having that experience necessary for proper psychological development, or can it be passed by without issue? How do I resolve this paradox of my being? I only have one life, and it's going by very quick. Help.